part of Melbourne lifestyle is wearing black and the AFL. But a good coffee is as much about the cafe as it is about the espresso blend. To tell us about some of Melbourne's great cafes, we've got food and coffee aficionado and author of the Foodie's Guide to Melbourne, Allan Campion. Allan, welcome to City Post.
No worries.
You're obviously a coffee aficionado, coffee expert. You brought me to Quist's, where Jim here is just enthused about his coffee making process, and I've had one, and
it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's damn fine. I think Melbourne as a city does coffee extremely well through heritage of Italians, plus people, not necessarily Italian, but coffee is definitely their thing. And we have, a handful of people like Jim around town who have businesses, So, but if we talk about coffee in the CBD as to where we'll sort of explore today, I brought you here to Quist, Little Collins Street, near the corner of Russell. And so if you can imagine this place in 1938 opening up and just selling coffee for the first time. And in its day, roasting was done on site. As Jim's explained, it's now done off-site because the machine's about 10 times the size of the actual shop that we're standing in. And if you can imagine in the 1930s when tea was the big thing, massive, we're talking about a population that was primarily, or mostly, Anglo sort of background. And coffee was done here, roasted right on site, right where you're standing at the window there. So apparently queues on Saturday mornings down the street and into Russell Street, people queuing up late to get their freshly roasted coffee beans.
That's right. For the week.
That's exactly right. So my other favourites, I have another favourite that's actually quite close to here, just on Russell Street, called Postal Hall. Now the difference there, we're not surrounded by the beans and the roasting aromas and the freshly ground beans and all those things, but I think Postal Hall, I love the vibe that it has. There's it's quite modern. It's snappy service. I love the fit out, and I just love the feel of the place. So I think. And their coffee is very, very good.
Moving on to other cafes that you're interested in this city?
Yeah, I don't think you can talk about coffee in Melbourne without mentioning Pellegrini's.
Of course.
So classic, stunning. Still looks like it was opened yesterday. It was opened in 1954. So this is 2 years before Melbourne had its Olympic Games. Would have been a very different city in those days. But to step inside to Pellegrini's today is still. The checked floor, the little red leather top stools along the side, loads of mirrors, the whole thing. There's still that Italian service as well. And Pellegrini's is a place you have to visit many times to become known. It's not
before you get the respect.
Definitely.
And that's a real experience. You step into there, you're stepping into a whole other world.
Oh, you certainly are. You could be in Rome, you could be anywhere. It's fantastic. And then I guess another that I quite like is, if I was in town, is the Federal Coffee Palace. And this is not even a building as such, but it's just inside the colonnade of the GPO. So you've got these beautiful, columns all down either side, and it's right in the corner. And you just slip in, and they've got this great little coffee booth that sort of just opens up. Set up by the people who'd done Cafe Racer down on St Kilda Beach. An excellent cup of coffee, and I love the feel of it again. It's about the vibe. It's quite Italian, I guess you would say, because you could be anywhere that there's columns and this beautiful long view down the side. I think it's quite fantastic. The other one that's excellent is Journal at CE. Granite Gate's a fantastic space. You go in there and you sort of, just what they've built, these sort of low-level sort of bookshelves just floating above the tables, and everyone's down, and it's beautifully lit, and they do a very, very good coffee. I think that's great in the CE building. So just on Flinders Lane near Centre Place there. And probably my final pick would be Coffea at Queen Victoria Market, run by Spaniards rather than Italians, but they seem to do a fantastic job. And again, you're talking about a space where they are roasting on site, grinding beans on site. It's the whole theatre of seeing it happening before your eyes. And I think once you get to know them and they know the sort of coffee you like, you've got it down. So some of your favourites?
Probably moving out of the CBD. One of my favourite cafes that I had to travel to, a long way to, was Ray Cafe in Brunswick, and that's just a great coffee experience, a really nice coffee, and a really friendly staff, and that is a cool cafe, but not too cool to be unfriendly. I guess the other one that that we were talking about earlier is St Ali in South Melbourne, and
well, the guy who set up Ray owns St Ali.
Oh, is that right?
So there's your link.
I didn't know that, but I've just given him a huge plug.
Yeah, that's great. Now, St Ali is great. So once we step out of the city, and these are sort of probably one of the newcomers, I guess, in some senses. But people who've been doing this for a long time, like even say our Jaspers and people like that. They've got a solid business, and they're just in there doing.
Fantastic, Alan. Thanks for your insights.
Most
I think
welcome.
we might get you back and talk about some other stuff.
Absolutely, anytime.